COVID was like throwing everything up in the air and everything come back down the table and things land in different places. Like I say, look into the future with some of the research and evolutionary engines that we have here. It's quite amazing. I'd never expected that.
People who are thinking, why not to buy a private jet, would you give some advice?
Demand for aircraft is extremely high at the minute. It would be a good investment at the moment. That wasn't scripted.
Let me introduce Peter. He's an old good friend for many years already, and the major place where we meet, it's different shows.
Exactly.
Like both of us, we are frequent show flyers, but Peter is running as a media representative, quite important and interesting project of Media Awards. Maybe you can just briefly introduce yourself, what exactly you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Peter Bradfield. I run the Aerospace Media Awards. These are a series of awards that we do every year. Even when it was COVID, we had to switch to virtual awards. But in a perfect world, we do live events. So it's like a gala dinner with a series of awards for different aspects of aviation journalism. We also do some defense media awards, which of course is for the military and defense journalists. And we do those over in Washington, DC. But this year we got these awards taking place in July in London. And
so in fact it would be the first after COVID, let's say, quality normal event.
Exactly. We were very fortunate that we could do the Defense Media Awards in Washington last October. That was our first back to live.
You managed to do this?
Yeah. I had to spend a couple of weeks in the Middle East so I could get into the United States.
Yeah, yes, you could, but for example, for us in France, we were not allowed to, unless you have a free time to spend some time.
I was working very hard in the Middle East. Yeah.
Okay, but we are at this Aero show, which have not happened for a few years, and what do you think after, let's say, end of the second day? What is your impression if you compare with the previous events?
I should point out this is my first time at Aero.
Okay. I assume it's your first time on events, shows like this after COVID. I mean.
Oh no! I'm very lucky. I was Dubai Air Show.
Okay.
That was absolutely fantastic. As I say, Singapore Air Show.
Okay.
This is the first one I think in Europe, but my impressions on coming here for the first time was absolutely incredible. Just totally blown me away. The quality of the exhibits, the exhibitors, the number, the variation, the research looking to the future with all the alternative fuels, hybrid aircraft, electric aircraft, all this, just incredible.
And my impression here that me personally, I'm impressed by the level of people. So of the big international corporations, you have, okay, not first level, but the second level of international corporations are presented here. So which is really impressive for such type of events. So I was not also coming on each year basis. I like events like this in previous life. It's okay to come once in 3-4 years, 2 years, but not really every year, considering that events like eBase is the must, yes?
Yeah.
But this year I'm really impressed by the level of people.
It's not just the level, it's the way you can interact as well. Like you can be walking down the aisle or around the show and bump into CEOs, people like that, real high level people, and they're happy to talk. They've got the time to talk.
And as a media person, do you feel any, due to COVID, after COVID, do you feel any new interest to the private aviation?
New interest, well, it's always interesting, particularly here. Like I say, look into the future with some of the research and evolutionary engines that we have here, particularly is very interesting here. I've noticed, like from a journalist point of view, that there are journalists here that are also here for the first time, and they've travelled from even the United States, many different countries to come here. I've been really surprised at actually the high level of British journalists. It's quite amazing. I'd never expected that.
You mean here?
Yeah, here at this show. Yeah.
Yeah, as aircraft owners and operators. We don't really know all of them, but I trust your evaluation.
Yeah, and when you see that kind of level of interest from journalists, it obviously indicates what a high level of interest there is going on at this show.
And we know each other from the previous life. We were brokers and we were like newcomers to the market. And thanks to COVID, we became aircraft owners. So we became, my company became biggest in the world Honda jet owner. And I assume, and probably you know me better than me, that probably there are some other newcomers to the market. If you see that new companies buying aircrafts which have not been in this business before?
Yes, there's that. After COVID, COVID was like throwing everything up in the air and everything coming back down the table and things land in different places. So there's been huge amounts of transitions, lots of change. People see it as new opportunities. The number of new customers that perhaps through COVID tried business aviation, and once they tried it, fantastic.
In fact, that's the reply I wanted to hear, because we are speaking today just...
That wasn't scripted.
We are doing this podcast specially oriented on newcomers or people who are thinking, why not to buy a private jet or establish a company operating private jets? Would you give some advice, any ideas, any suggestions to these people? Is it a good timing?
I don't know. If people are coming into the market for the first time, I would say, treat it cautiously. Maybe do a small trip first, see what it's like. Don't book a trip, transatlantic. And
no, we are speaking about a bit different people. Those who never been flying before private jets. In COVID time, they haven't had any other opportunity but just to take a private jet, and now they think that it's really comfortable. It's nice, and there are some uncertainty in the air that the war is around, and probably it would be inflation and some other things. Definitely like events like war or COVID not developing the big airliners. So maybe that would be as we discussed with people from other companies, producers, that they say that they have a new way of marketing. Buying a private jet is a good way to park their money. What do you think about that?
It is, particularly at the minute, because the private jet market, second hand, it's so difficult to get hold of jets. Also, the supply chain difficulties, it's hard to get hold of new jets as well. So the demand for aircraft is extremely high at the minute. They're actually increasing in value. So it would be a good investment at the moment.
And considering the booming in this market, do you see a development of the media activity, new media or new journalists coming?
Particularly if we're talking about aviation media at the minute, throughout COVID it has been, like you've seen major transitions. Just as we're here doing the podcast, there's a big shift into the digital sector and away from print. Some people are very proud to still be in print. It means there's less and less print, so if you're one of the ones that are still sticking around, you distinguish yourself even more by being in print. But the shift is into digital, and that means, particularly for journalists, that the way they deliver their stories, the way they just put the stories forward, has to change as well. Somebody that's used to writing like a 6-page article, maybe if you're doing a 2-minute film, is a entirely different way of presenting the information. So
what would you suggest? Make a video or make or write a long read for 6 pages and utilize like several days.
I'll tell you what I would suggest, and this is serious. I would suggest podcasts, not because we're doing this. I know this is a visual one, but I personally really enjoy getting my information on an audio podcast when I can be walking down the street or in a car or something like this, or in an aeroplane or wherever it might be, listening to it, listening to the information. That might just be my own personal preference, but you can have that information, you can gather that information wherever you are. You can't walk down the street reading a newspaper. You know, you can't drive a car reading print. You can't watch the TV, but you can listen.
Co-France, Jet.Paris channel, podcast channel could be considered like a very interesting invention in aviation.
Yeah, and you will see there's many others as well that are moving into the podcast sector.
So now we need to see what the committee would choose for the media awards this year.
Just because you're talking to the organizer, there's no special favors here. Come on.
No, but you feel that the podcasts are.
This is just my personal point of view.
I never, in fact, so far seen, unless it's like very corporate, just devoted to this particular company, and not about the market, about tendencies, development.
No,
because you see, I'm not interested to hear the news of one or another company. Just okay, it could be 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but not just half an hour, 1 hour. And you are absolutely right. So when I prepare food for my kids, and it takes 1 hour, and if I may have a beer in addition, so I need to have some entertainment, and it should be somehow funny, somehow informative, and I like that.
Yeah.
But the problem, what I noticed, that almost all podcasts you have, they are very political. So in respect to the whatever you have available now, whatever is popular, it's all these political blah 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 and prognoses, evaluations, and so on. But you know, I'm becoming tired of all these. So that's I want to while being in the kitchen or in the sauna, want to have some informative stuff, industry related, education, somehow educationally related, maybe some personal interesting stories, like in these modern magazines like Forbes or whatever. Why not to have them in podcasts?
But I have to be impartial because of my position with the Media Awards, but all you got to do is go on the different podcast channels and search for aviation, and you will find some very good aviation podcasts, whether it's business aviation, commercial aviation, just overviews, MRO in particular. There's some really good ones. And
so you are already using them?
Yes, and if you want to get up to speed on what's happened this week, listen to a podcast, 20-30 minutes. Great.
That's the question I want to ask.
Yeah.
What, from your point of view, the ideal timing?
Good question. Depends how long your walk is or how long your exercise routine. But I would say that anything under 30 minutes is usually quite good. If it goes beyond that,
it should be like a series, probably. Yeah?
Because I also have things like audiobooks, and if I get an audiobook that is 16 hours long, I'm not going to listen to that for 16 hours. So I listen to a bit and then go away and then come back to it and forget what I heard before. So
I understand what you mean.
So producing a podcast that lasts.
So podcast is not like erotic movie you can switch on any moment. And even if you've seen that, you still enjoy that.
Vitaly, I wouldn't know anything at all about erotic movies. Come on. You must tell me sometime.
When we will switch off the camera, I'll tell you. So, okay, let's change the subject. So you like the event, and
Yes, this is fantastic. Really great to be here, and so nice to be in person.
have you really met any market newcomers or any products which you're not aware of before?
Well, this is not, because I say it's my first time, so this is like a sector of aviation that I am very new to. Although, you know, I've been around a long while, that's obvious, but but to come here and see, yes, of course, all that down there with the green engines, the E engines, the hybrid engines, the hydrogen engines, all this stuff is so new, fantastic.
Okay, and let's say coming year, what events you would consider to be really important to visit? Of course, everybody would go to eBase, but what else you consider as a quality and you would like?
Well, remember that I come from a background that is trying to go across all different sectors, but for me, for sure, eBase, Farnborough. There's MEBA in December in Dubai, NBAA in Florida. What else have we got?
Florida, it's in October,
yes, in October in Orlando. There's a general aviation show in Abu Dhabi in late October as well. You know, so on the aviation side, there's plenty to see.
And Farnborough.
Oh, and we mustn't forget, of course, as we're in Germany, we mustn't get our friends at ILA in Berlin in June.
When?
ILA in Berlin.
And it's, I never even heard about that. Tell me if you think.
ILA is one of the oldest air shows there ever was. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's normally every 2 years.
Okay. And we are lucky that this year it would be.
So yeah, the last ILA would have been in 2018. Because then 2020 COVID, so we're back here in 2022. It's I'll be going there the 22nd of June, so it's that week.
Okay,
yeah. And ILA is like a German Farnborough or German Le Bourget.
Really?
Yeah,
because,
so everything from space.
Because I'm going to Canada, like whatever 11th of June. This is a Canada Canada Business Aviation Association annual meeting.
Exactly.
It's the first time for me, and which I want to visit. Are you coming to such events or no?
No, because my other side, on the military side, there will be an event in Paris in June.
Okay. Yeah. It's a defense conference.
It's Eurosatori. Yeah.
Okay. EUA. So let's see, and it's for one day or it's for this?
I believe it starts on the 22nd of June and it goes through to the weekend. What's fascinating about ILA is the historic aircraft and things that they have there as part of that, and it's a really interesting thing that the German industry comes out and they're on display there. Once upon a time, ILA was also like the Central European show, so you would get lots of companies from the East that would be there. Unfortunately, with the current situation, I don't know what it would be like.
No, you still have rather serious production of the smaller units in Czech Republic and Poland.
Yes, but you used to have quite a significant Russian presence at ILA, so I don't know how.
I mean, nowadays, level of production due to the sanctions really reduced. I'm not really sure that they have anything to.
No, I don't think
show.
No. Yeah.
So let's see. No, but what I like, probably you would agree with me that it's really nice to report that events are coming back, people activity is coming back, and that's really promising. And I'm very grateful to you for your time. If you come to Media Awards in Farnborough, that's probably must to go. It's
You'll be very welcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and let's meet probably next time in
eBase.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.